preparing live streaming. Yes. All right, we're official now. We are officially live streaming. Let me close out all this other stuff so I can. All right, good. Okay. Yes, okay. Yes, okay. All right. So welcome to Saturday night's open mic featuring Zach Succardi. So excited that he is here tonight to read poetry and talk about his debut book. Little humans. Talk about his debut book, Eves. I met Zach. He's a local poet here in Albuquerque. Met him last year on an open mic slam, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you should have a book." I just happened to be publishing, getting people ready to publish next year, and he was like, "Yes," and I was like, "Cool." And it became this wonderful project, kind of watching it bloom and unfold. And I'm so excited that he's going to have his book in his hands, hopefully in less than 10 days. Soon it'll be here. So I'm very, very excited to be launching his debut book of poetry, and the rest of you are in for a treat tonight. On the open mic list, I have Doc Janning, who is a two-time poet laureate. We call that a bi-laureate, right, Doc? I don't remember, dual laureate. What was it you told me to call you?
I am a dual laureate because I'm poet laureate of both my city and the county at the same time.
Dang, you know what? Now I got to go for city, county, and state.
No,
I could be another one that
I'm
we
done.
get
I'm
tri
done.
laureate. Like, let's go. So we are amongst a very accoladed poets this evening. We have Ed Poetastic, who is my wonderful co-host at The Word Is Right. We have Rich Boucher,
Yeah.
who is an amazing local poet as well here in Albuquerque. He's also a slam champion. So don't be fooled by the black and white facade of his screen. That man is incredibly colorful. And Zach Frater, I hope I said your name right. I do have you on this because you asked to read. So let's go over a little bit of the rules, a few announcements, and we'll get started tonight. So this is a live poetry open mic. If you are brand new to spoken word poetry or Zoom even, please understand that anyone can speak on anything at any time while they're performing. We do not require any sort of trigger warning, but if you choose to use a trigger warning to your piece, we will endorse that and support that. But please understand you can hear anything at any time. There's no censorship on this show, so you can say dick, shit, pussy, fuck, all those great, wonderful words. The only thing you're not allowed to do is bring any hate speech whatsoever. I love that Zach smiles when I say that because inevitably, right, you don't have a host. I don't normally go to poetry open mics where the host just blurts out all the best words because it's still so very faux pas. But it's important people know that they can speak on whatever they wish. Just no hate speech. If I feel you're a threat to anyone in this room, you will get kicked the hell out and not be allowed back in. I run a really tight ship here. I expect people to be respectful. This also includes the chat. The chat is there for you to use but not abuse. So if I get any sort of reports that you're abusing or using abusive language in the chat, again, you will be kicked out and not allowed back in. In all the years we've been doing this, we have yet to have that problem happen. So please keep it professional. If you're reading tonight, you do not have to turn your camera on. If you want to turn your camera on, you may. The only one who has to turn their camera on is Zach, because we want to see his face while he's performing tonight. Not Zach Frater, Zachary Succardi. So I'll make that clarification. All right, so the open mic's pretty easy. So let's go 5 minutes on the open mic. You can fill the time with anything you would like. Also, please like, share, subscribe, and follow. So we have the Red or Green Books, which is the publishing house, and then we have the Word is Right, which is our performing arts platform. So we do a lot of our promotional events in collaboration with The Word is Right. So if you go to our YouTube channels at Red or Green Books and The Word is Right, you'll see historically a lot of different shows, a lot of different events, a lot of book launches. We also have book club once a month. We have book club. So there's a different book every month. We showcase volunteer-based, and there's coupons every month so you can collect books over time and still, not have to break the bank on that. And then once a month, we have an author talk. And I believe Zachary is signed up for an author talk down the road. And so keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. And then, of course, in September, oh my gosh, is September right here in Albuquerque with the New Mexico Poetry Summit. We have poets flying in from Mexico, Canada, London, all over the US, as well as all over New Mexico, coming and converging here in Albuquerque. So whether or not you're a poet, whether or not you know anything about poetry, it is going to be a life-changing epic 3 days here in Albuquerque. So you can go to the website if you want to learn more, redorgreenbooks.com. You can also go and check out Zachary's bio on the website. You can read about his book. You can read the reviews on his book. We'll have all of that stuff posted. You can get links to his social media. True Blue podcast is one of the big things that Zachary does. So I'll let him kind of embellish that when he comes up and talks. So that would be awesome. So yes, the time limit will be 5 minutes on the open mic or up to 5 minutes. Again, please just come and do your poetry. Like, if you're coming up here showing things you shouldn't be showing, reading things you should be showing, reading things you shouldn't be reading, and I have to kick you out, I'm really upset. Okay, so please just, let's all be professional and do our part to keep the show going tonight. All right, I never let poets come up here without reading a piece myself to kind of lube the mic, if you will, to warm everyone up. And then we'll go through Doc, Ed, Rich, and Zach Frater. And then we'll go to our feature reader tonight, Zachary Succardi. And then we'll go back to the open mic list and see who joins us between then and now. So if you're just joining us, like I see Erica Floyd is in the house. Brooklyn, she's here. If Brooklyn wants to read, you're welcome to read. Just let me know. All right, let's get started. This is a poem. Since Zachary and I live in the same city, I figured I would read a little poem I wrote that deals a little bit with what we deal with in Albuquerque. It is titled Siren Song. Sirens from the fire station up the street are blasting, "Be careful," already this New Year day. Someone's life just changed. They don't sound sirens for happy times or better days. Perhaps someone's life just ended. How interesting, no one even moves out of the way of fire trucks anymore. Like they never needed a rescue. Like their house never burned down. Their life never ended. Crisis never came calling for them. Crying, screaming, honking horn blasting, emergent. See? Crisis life on the line. It's Albuquerque. Wanna bet it's a gunshot wound? New Year's Day. Wild, wild West mentality. Forgot about girls gone wild neutrality. Another siren screams. Another investigation by the much rested homicide detectives who've probably cleared their caseload early to focus on whatever's coming next. Still another siren. It must be bad. I peer into the living room. Tiny toes kicked over the back of the couch, bobbing beneath a chocolate blanket when the chime of a video game cues a win. She's not out there yet tonight. She's only 9. She's still mine. Still time waits for no one, the way heroes wait for the siren song. When the worst thing in the world happens and everything's wrong. But it doesn't matter. It's not my child. She's safe. Siren sounds last but a moment. I'm glad I never read the obituaries. And that's how we celebrate New Year's in Albuquerque. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's light up this open mic tonight. Doc Janning, my dear friend from Ohio. You are up, sir. Let me spotlight you. And then Poetastic, you are on deck. Rich Boucher, you're in the hole.
My first poem tonight was cued by a word in Poets and Writers magazine on July 9th. The word was inyan, Inyeon, which is a Korean term for providence or fate, specifically about relationships between people. An example would be two people walking by each other and their clothes brushing, means there must have been something between them in a past life. If two people get married, then there are thought to be 8,000 layers of inyan over 8,000 past lives. And this is inyan. We gaze, you and I, into each other's soul in a Tonglen and Darshan, in the total intimacy of infinity. In this moment, inyan is revealed. Our past lives as lovers, as devoted husbands and wives. The quantum entanglement of our hearts and souls across time, space, and dimensions, and the horizons of forever beyond forever. And you are that moment, and all those infinite moments woven of past, present, and future. A recognition of what was, is, and shall ever be. You and I, the we, which is us. And my second poem is titled Poet Messenger. I am a poet, a messenger of time, a teller of tales of landscapes and of inscapes beyond imagination. I speak gnosis, a knowledge beyond, of things mystical and spiritual, and of everywhere and every when. I travel, conveyor of dreams, bringing visions of yet to be, and wisdom of eras and ages long gone. I teach those who seek how to free their words and sing the songs of emotion. And I know my own lacks, my own wants and needs, and I learn from messages carried by others. Thank you. And by the way, my voice has not yet returned to normal since my stroke.
I'm so glad you're here, Doc. It's always wonderful to hear your poems. And Doc has a book. He has a new book. It's not a RGB book, but it is a book of poetry. And I'm sure if you reach out to him, if you're interested in his work, he can get you hooked up with where to buy his book. I'm sure it's a lovely book, and I'm very
I'll,
glad to see you back here.
I'll throw it into the chat.
Yes, yes, please. Pop all your social media stuff in the chat as you're reading, so y'all can follow each other. And it does remind me to send a big, heartfelt um, uh, love and bouquet, if you will, of prayers and love for Stephanie Delgado, who is the wife of Marcial Delgado, who is our city slam champion here in Albuquerque. She had a stroke a few days ago, and she is on her way to healing through that. But for the whole Delgado family, our hearts go out for them, and we're all so close together as a community. It's always hard when those things happen to your friends. So we love you, Steph. All right, Ed Poetastic, are you ready? Are you feeling fantastic?
Yep, I'm feeling fantastic because you are bombastic. Woo!
Let me smile. Let me smile at you, sir, so we can get the full effect. All right, there you go.
You call me sir, I call you sister. Thank you for making a delightful twister. Woo! My name is Ed Potassil, feeling fantastic. Please, in time you can join my rhyme, thoughtful, sublime. And I won't take too much time. I got two poems. The first one is First Last. We're always behind in the back of our minds. We can't stay blind by the rushing tide. We're all winners. We're all beginners. We're not losers. We're not snoozers. We have unique skills. We can help or kill. We send chills or thrills. We, the queens or kings of the hill. Don't be belittled by society. They don't understand variety. They don't understand who you are. You are a bright, shining star. Please stop having high expectations. Why not go on a stress free vacation? Who are you trying to impress? Don't press for progress. You want to be like everyone else. You're a book on the global bookshelf. Why can't you appreciate you? Maybe you need to change your view. Why must you outdo everyone? The moon isn't outdoing the sun. Everything isn't a competition. It's not in life's grand definition. Maybe you point the telescope within. Be your cheerleader and your friend. You don't live twice, but once. Be a happy sage, then an arrogant dunce. Thank you. And I got a spicy piece. And this is called Naked Illuminating Radiance. We quickly rip off our clothes. Rapid minds were allured by burning eyes. My delicate touches and kisses around your tulips and your pink rose. Hungry suns start to rise for the midnight surprise. Our soft cotton lips slowly and gently taste their euphoria. Our pink snakes are swallowing the taboo cinnamon. My eyes watch divine ecstasy covering our boring hysteria. Let's enjoy sexual lights to the bare minimum. Our burning souls felt calm in a soothing bedroom. Our insides felt engulfed in a warm, heavenly glow. We fused ourselves together underneath the moon while smelling our ginger perfume. We felt the inner jolting storm send tremors covering our skin. We felt the blissful waves that's inside our hearts. We felt the lightning and thunder from within. We drank the taboo sparks or naturally raw, adulterated art. Our thunderous lovemaking began to feel darn good. We felt our nerves jumping around our musky ecstasy. We didn't say a word, we didn't say a thing, but we both understood. We're making our naughty fantasy out of this mundane reality. The exquisite waves of pure euphoria washed down our bodies. Our dancing minds went quietly still. This is just the spicy beginning of our sensational hobbies. Now it's time to use my lustful skills with my starving drill. Our moist skin troubles at the swaps and rubbings of our canvas. Our fast-paced breathing became wild and fast. We slowly clenched our soft fists. My hard mass went up and down your creamy ass. Our stimulated nerves are firing around our brains. Our sweaty bodies were in complete awe. We couldn't explain the motions of our purple rain. We had so much satisfaction that we couldn't pause or withdraw. Our eyes closed to engulf the transcending flames of our lungs. We felt one in the pitch dark night. We felt the electricity twirling around our loins towards our tongues. We kept moving, grooving, and brewing with all our might. Our bare bodies danced around the flickering lights, our tongues frankly tasting our spicy essence. The air has gotten warm, tense, and tight, slowly smelling our fluorescence or scorching luminescence. Your glimmering moons went into a peaceful eclipse. My delicate kisses around your neck. My hands gripped your feisty hips while our minds dipped. It was a bitter and sweet mess, but it wasn't grotesque. Quickly thrusting in your fragile pink sea, slowly and delicately bring up your sexual presence. We bear our moans and groans of the shivering between you and me. The pleasure was pleasant and saw a tangy, savory adolescence. The white hot creamy rivers start going forth. Our faces glow in the dancing sunrise, our bodies pointing upwards and downwards to the north. The quietness start to fly and die. Our bodies were dripping wet and weak. Our bodies nestled in damp pillows and sheets. The darkness has gone bleak. Our snooze start to skip beats. Thank you.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Ed Poetastic, Musky Ecstasy. The darkness has gone weak. I love that. Yes. All right. You know, Ed Poetastic is one of our mainstays here at the Words Right. We just love him, and he's an awesome part of our team.
Love you
So
too.
we love you, Eddie. All right. Definitely check back at The Word Is Right, because we have shows just about every day of the week doing something, whether it's workshops for writing or mental health things or podcasts or shows like this. There's something here all the time. All right, let's keep going. Rich Boucher, you're next, followed by Zach Frater, and we'll bring up our featured reader tonight, the one and only Zachary Succardi is 2 poets away. All right, Rich, are you ready? Where did
I
you
am
go?
ready, thank you. Can you hear me all right?
All right, yes, sir. Let me spotlight you.
You can hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Right. Sounds good, thank you. Okay. This poem is called All of the Furniture in Heaven is Made Out of Solid Gold. The first Google search we were able to find was which kind of .38 caliber handgun makes for the best suicide. With Smith & Wesson at the top of all of the most trusted lists in the nation, in the country, in America, in the remains of the former United States. Even if you don't think so, a great many things are beautiful. Put on some romantic music, the sort of sounds best for lovemaking, and keep the torches nice and low. Maybe light some Nag Champa. Definitely some warm, scented candles all throughout the last bedroom you'll ever have. Pick up the pistol and hold it just right. Savor the heft and thrill to the cold steel as it enters your mouth, as you make it enter your mouth. Enter your own mouth with the pistol you picked out so thoughtfully. Turn the muzzle around in your mouth. Seduce the conclusion with a teasing tongue. The wood of the grip warming to the idea of you. Everyone wants to see you drool and moan, especially this weapon that's waited for you all this time. All these years. All those grades in school. All those memories one after another. In high school, I knew a sweet girl who shot herself one morning. She lived only a few blocks away. I heard the distant shot as I got ready for school, but I didn't know the meaning of that sound until the 8:30 PA speaker told us innocence was over. I never imagined then that my future would contain days when I'd think maybe Deanna had the right idea after all. Embrace the thought of all this nonsense ending. Seduce the conclusion. Fascinate upon a final thing. What's it going to feel like after you do it? After your desperate finger pulls the trigger? Something smells like smoke in the darkening woods after an afternoon rain, or maybe myrrh. You won't even have the time to feel any pain, just a black sound, louder than any scream you ever heard in a bad dream. And then what? And then what? I think the next thing you see after you die is whatever the last dream you had was, but on an endless repeat. And I'll wager that it feels like you're aware that you're dreaming, like in the last 8 or 9 minutes before you normally wake up. And whether or not you want to wake up now, you finally understand that there is no more waking up for you. And the lighting is all wrong, or the lighting is exactly perfect, depending upon whatever fate has in store. Whatever fate has on sale at the moment, the seasonal special pricing, the buy one life and get one free, the lifetime guarantee. And all of the furniture in heaven, if that's what happens next, if that even makes sense, if that's what you want to call it, is made out of solid gold. Sharp corners and flat surfaces beautiful everywhere, every couch, lounge, chair, and bed made out of this breathtaking and precious cold metal. And you get to lie down on it for all of the rest of time if you want, if you can stand it. All the while, the small white clouds and the pretty blue sky above you can't hear a word you say and will never see you. Relax. All is as it should be. Just relax and remember the times when you were loved for a little while. Thank you for listening.
Oh, Rich Boucher, let's go. Yes. All the furniture in heaven. We should use that for the next writing prompt at Thirstier. Or on endless repeat would be also really good. Rich does have a book out also titled All This Candy Belongs to Me. I'm sure he'll put the links in the chat. All these poets, they have incredible books. They're not necessarily through Red or Green Books, but their books are incredible. So support these authors. Yeah, Zachary, you and Rich you two are very cerebral performers. All right, let's go. Zach Frater, you are up. I will not be able to spotlight people who do not have their camera on, but like I said, you don't have to turn it on if you don't want to. But there you are. I got you. All right, let me spotlight you.
I think I have one. And I have a poem. I live in Vegas. I live in Vegas, New Mexico. I have a poem. Ready?
Well, welcome. I'm so glad to have you.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, I got it. Last week bottle found behind bed. Looks like cottage cheese poured out, dirty kitchen sink. Stale bread and yesterday beer cans left out. I miss my mother. I'm hungover. Sun through an open window too bright. Full curtains tight. Dark. Life. Two moms, neither are here. I need mother arms. Can't say which one, but love is wanted. I can't cry. Cry over spilled milk. I cry sometimes. Both moms left. Maybe at the end of my life, two moms rush to embrace. I love you, my boy. You didn't live perfect life, but you tried. Biological mom. Ain't seen her since I was born. See her in heaven. See her this life. I want to see her. Want to be held. Only person I would believe she could say, I love you, my sweet boy. Everything's all right. It's okay. Mama's here. Close your eyes. Just rest. Love in womb. Unconditional. I'm sure it's a reason she couldn't do it. 3 kids, bills to pay, past indiscretions. Never know why. Mother gives birth, baby in arms, kisses forehead, says goodbye. Does she wonder what kind of life that boy leads if, as a baby, he fell asleep, tears in eye, missing his mom? Second mom died. Didn't get a card. Pat on back. Hey, kid, life is hard. Hopes and prayers empty, misguided. Lasagna dishes dropped off, a note on top. Please return the pan. How much pain before God forgives sin? Must be a past life, reincarnated. This can't be my tab. Wrong name. Always feel it's my fault. Lots of obstacles in road. How many boulders pushed out of the way? Sisyphus, except I see red, I feel rage. Sinking, sinking, sinking. Ocean beach, no lifeguard, but hella people watching, judging, criticizing, no rescue. Fight to get back to shore. Hear people talking. LOL, look at his form. Should swim, parallel is shore. Zachary is adopted. He barely graduated school. Can you believe anyone ever thought he was cool? Struggle, hurt, rejection, riptide. Anchor on back. What am I carrying this for? It was a struggle, not even sure why, only to find fairy tale endings don't exist, like buried and grave next to each other. Start a life, inheritance, restless energy, rigid behavior, passed down genetic code. Another round, 10/5, whiskey jug plowed field, chemical dependence, passed from old, probably drunk conversation, chasing women, fist fight and only moonlight, talking till dawn, holes in drywall, emotion explode. Can't be the only one. 23andMe, Northern European, Scottish, Portuguese, 2 to Tango, Night of Passion, would have been 1987. What was playing on radio? Hope it was love song, hope it was love making, hope it was love. Sometimes I dream. Square up. Don't deny me my birthright. Oedipus, confrontation. At least say why. Doesn't have to end. Broken hand. Hey, old man. Hourglass running out of sand. Admit, son, abandoned. Handed down, frantic, rapid. Pain tolerance higher than average. Alcohol dependent. Where were you? There's no instruction manual on passed down traits. Most people see me and think everything's okay. I have shadow. He talks every day, says mean things, whisper in ear, TV in other room, I don't hear it clear. Always be little kid to me, boy no one wants. Hard work and pain, nothing to show for it. How bad has your life been? Let's rate it 0 to 10. Oh, I was awake at 9 a.m., doing my best to hear Shadow. He's laughing. Oh, my. Can't get out of bed. They always knew. Failure, fake, dumb, careless, reckless, nothing to show. Trash can on street, overflow. Beer cans, bottles, baggies. Trash can picked up. Here bottles meet a metal trash truck. Rattle, roar, echo down street. Prove them right. Can't make it to work. Daughters are proud, I'm sure. Toss and turn, no sleep. Hide under covers, I scream. Shadow, go away. Just go away. Last thing I need is your voice in my head. Flinching like a dog has been hit. Eyelids closing, falling down, wide awake, shadow exposing. Oh boy, you awake? Have some notes about the day. Imagine if you said this. Imagine if you did that differently. People might like you, could have friends, people who gave a fuck about little Zach. Always sad. Have another drink, that'll help. Can't block out, shadow rant. Always knew little Zach would drown. Mistake, past regret, someone everyone wants to forget. Well, it's a representation that life doesn't go our way. Winding up, mismatched socks, lost in dryer. I guess I'm a survivor, one that got away. It was winter 88, picked up from hospital, so much snow the car left tracks. Did mom regret letting me leave her hands? Did dad know? Did God look down hopeful? Did he look away, knowing that boy's life would turn out this way?
Oh, damn. Let's go, Zach. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad to meet you. I'm glad for that poem. And yes, the entire metaphor of shadow work is so important. So thank you so much for the courage to come and perform in a place you've never been with people you might not know. But at least we're New Mexicans. So we got that, we got that in common. You're not that far from home being in this room. So um, let's go. Yes. All right. So now we're going to bring up our feature reader tonight. We'll go back to the open mic list. If anyone wants to read again, I'm happy to go back through the list again. Usually we get a bunch of people trickling in that second hour, so I'll add them to the list as well. So if you're not sure if you want to read yet, get sure and maybe try it for the first time. This is a really great space to do that. You don't even have to put your camera on, right? So there's a lot of first timers who practice here, and that's a lot of fun. So that is the option. And then we always invite our feature to do an encore poem to close the show, which is a lot of fun. So if Zach wants to do that, if he's got time, he's welcome to stay and do an encore. If not, that's okay. I understand. But we'll go back and do another round with the 4 poets who are on the open mic list. All right. So like I said, Zachary's bio is on the website. Links to his you technically don't have links to your social media on this bio. So if you want me to put links to True Blue Podcast, I can do that for you. Just send it to me and I'll do that. But you can read his book about the reviews and what people are saying about his book online as well. And he'll tell you everywhere you can pre-order his book. I say pre-order, but it's going to be here in a couple weeks. So it's not like it's pre-order. It's not that far away. It's almost here. Zachary Succardi, originally from northern New Jersey, spent his formative years immersed in the punk scene of New York City tri-state area. This early exposure to raw energy and creativity of punk music deeply influenced his artistic sensibilities. Fascinated by the power of lyrics, Zachary's passion for the written word blossomed, leading him to explore poetry as a teenager. In 2006, Zachary made a significant life change, moving from New Jersey to the serene landscape of New Mexico. His poetry, deeply rooted in the principles of haiku and modern haiku, reflects his lifelong journey through music, expression, and the search for true connection. He skillfully composes brief poems that remain with the reader well beyond the first encounter. by adopting this minimalist nature of modern haiku and the emotive resonance found in song lyrics. Zachary Succardi has established himself as a poet known for his impactful consciousness and enduring influence. He currently lives in Albuquerque. Like I said, you can find him on Instagram at True Blue Podcast. I'm going to invite everyone to unmute their mics and give a warm welcome as we bring up our feature reader tonight, the one and only Zachary Succardi. Woo, 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 woo!
Welcome. Break a leg tonight.
Thank you, everybody. I'm very grateful to be here. This is really cool. It's neat to hear someone say your name. I don't know, there's just something about it. I'm like, hey, that's me. It's also cool to see another Zach on here. Shout out to Zach. It's a great name. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my book. I'm going to read some poetry from it and then explain a little bit of some of the poems, not all of them. So I decided to call my book Eves, a collection, because where I grew up, we had a part of our house called the eaves. It's like a very small attic space. And in there, we would keep like Christmas ornaments. I have a brother who's much older, and he has like old Star Wars toys. And they would just like come out like once a year, and he'd have all these toys. We'd have all these ornaments. And it was such a cool part of our house. I grew up in a very small house. And just that it would come out like every like once a year, it always kind of stuck with me. And I've been wanting to do a book of poetry for quite some time. Some of these poems are over 10 years old. Most of them are pretty recent. But so the title Eves is sort of me coming out with all this poetry that I've kept in this attic for so long. So for me to be able to express it, have that tie to my childhood, and to be able to speak my creativity, my vulnerability, just really means a lot to me. So that's sort of a little bio of the title Eves. Plus it's a cool word. Like Eves, you really never see it. So there's just something about that's very pleasing to the eye for me. So that it's pleasing to the eye and has all those ties to my childhood really just means a lot to me. So I love quotes. I love fortune cookies. I don't like the taste of fortune cookies, but I like the actual fortunes. And I was always taken by like when things are brief, they really stay with you. Quotes, fortune cookies, sayings, certain lyrics. So a lot of my poetry kind of has that same idea. It's not very long, they're very brief, but they really, at least for me, they have such a lasting like power to them. So I decided to start my book off with a quote from one of my favorite writers named Jack Kerouac. And the quote reads, "One day I will find the right words and they will be simple." And I just love that because you want to just like express yourself and you want to find the right way of doing it. And you're not sure, you don't want to mess up. You don't want to put out something wrong. You don't want to, you don't want to not convey how you feel. And you can get so overwhelmed by it. And when I read this quote, I thought, wow, that's so beautiful. One day I will find the right words and they will be simple. And sometimes the most, simplest, very plain words just have so much power to them. So I chose that quote to start off my book to kind of lead the way to show that one day I will find the right words and they will be simple. So part of doing this book, the exciting thing for me is just creating something and expressing it. It doesn't even have to be good, it's just a matter of creating something and having the like guts, the vulnerability, the strength to say, here, this is me. It just really just always has always spoken to me as far as being creative. And when I'm dust and way gone, this book will still be here. And to me, that is so exciting. Anytime that someone creates something, it's like going to be here forever. And that is so like enticing to me that like when I'm gone, people could have my book and I'm still there. I'm still like alive in this energy. So that's one of the reasons why I'm just so excited to be creating, to be doing this. It really is like a great moment in my life. So just a little bit of background, a little bit of the idea of kind of where I'm coming from with all this. So I'm going to get into some of the poems here. Some of them don't have any titles. I'll save those towards the end. This first one is called Russian Girl. A Russian girl once told me I looked like her father in his youth. I smiled. She laughed. What a small world. This next one is called Sometimes. Sometimes I feel too much. Sometimes I weep too much. But I'll be okay, because most times I laugh enough. And that one really speaks to me because no matter how bad things get, no matter how emotional, if you can laugh, there's such power in that. And there's such hope in that. So even though I weep, I feel I'll be okay. You'll be okay because you'll laugh. You'll experience these wonderful things in life. This one is called Millions. If I won the lottery, I'd spend all day thinking up names for all the hurricanes headed toward Florida. Florida, I'm sure, is nice. I would never live there. When I was growing up, they'd always have these hurricanes and it would just fuck up like everything. And I'd be like, oh, why the fuck would anyone want to live there? Plus, it's so damn humid. I'm sure there's some like nice reasons to live there, but I just couldn't do it. But if I were a millionaire, I'd be a creative millionaire. This one is called Trauma Seeds. I can see the glass falling from my chest. I want to love a lot less. I want to love a lot less. I can feel the past moving in too fast. My love won't last. My love won't last. This one is kind of very emotional to me. It deals with a lot of depression, a lot of just feelings of sadness, and just the repetition of I want to love a lot less. And then the last one where it says my love won't last. It just, again, for me, it's negative when you read it, but to express it, it's positive, to just get it out, to just, be vulnerable. This one is called Movers. It depends on the pens. Let me start over. It depends on the pens. Tune your radio to your favorite AM in the PM, so by morning, your shoulders will trick you into thinking you're growing, not aging. So I beg you to take my somewhere used, somewhere new. I hear the islands are nice this time of year. I'll even ride with the goats. When I soon arrive, I'll lay across, finding myself fishing for worms in a pond. Lions of the sea, come chase me. Owls of the moon, leaving so soon. This one I wrote recently. It is pretty much about a relationship that I was in that was very unhealthy. It's called Spare Me the Change. Love me and I'll love you. Fuck me and I'll fuck you. Lips so raw, they're chapped. Heart so pure, it's trapped. Swing on low and let it go. This one is called Name. It's pretty much about self-love and sort of learning to love yourself over a number of years or even a lifetime. They say I feel too much, but really I'm slowly trying. I eat words, drinking silence when the setting is right. I'm never down, I mean up. Someday I'll love Zach Succardi. I think I'll lay down for a while. This one is called Sandia, and if you could see right here, it's the Sandia Mountains. There we go, right there. My hands are aching more than my brain is letting on. This will all catch up to me sooner or later. The mountains stay the mountains, no matter your mood. Walk them or wallow in them. They'll outlive you by millions and millions of years. And that one, I just think to myself, like, you're going through this life, you're feeling all these feelings, and these mountains are going to be here forever, forever. It kind of puts things into perspective for me. This one is called Battled. Of course, my lungs will scar, but I cannot give up. This feeling is yet to be named, but the consensus is that we all feel the same. Alert the common people. Their king is human, and he will suffer with them. This one is called March Madness. I'm born in March, and I'm towards the end. March Madness is like a college basketball tournament. I just like the alliteration, the MM to it. So everything in here is an alliteration. So here goes. March Madness. Forgiven for forgetting. Memory make me modest. So sad, so strong. Heaven hold here. Going, going, gone. This one is called Brown in Color. The hair in my sink is yours. The wrinkle in my heart is also yours, both unclaimed. So this one is called EWR to ABQ, which are the airport like letters for Newark, New Jersey to Albuquerque. Tired and blue, tried and true, another delay, a rainy stay, sex to accept, love to regret. Group 9 is now boarding. This one is called Shuffle the Deck. Nearsighted and righteous, newcomer in sunglasses, so as not to let anyone know my strengths, your weaknesses. I statements for the blind, an unnecessary glance, a meeting of minds, lacking spirits, alive and loved, smothered and spoken for. Go home or go somewhere. This time of year is hard on the soul. Go home or go somewhere. This time of year is hard on the soul. Go home or go somewhere. This time of year is hard on my soul. This one is called April. Love has attacks the lonesome cannot claim. Beneath the sun, my big red heart. This one is called Summer Night. A midnight breeze sweeps through. Southwest streets are busy. Your hand in my hand. This one is called Stars. Get away from the city. Stars everywhere. This is the last one with a title. This one is called Memory Serves. Brain fog, walking aimlessly through these streets unclaimed. A song so slow, a moon so full. I'll write this poem to lead you home. All right, so the rest of these, as I said, they're untitled. They're more of the haiku. I grew up in New Jersey, right next to New York City. And when I moved out here, I realized how like New York is so like everywhere. You see New York pizza, New York clothing, New York nails, like everything is so New York City centric. And I kind of fell in love with it because I'd spent so much time going into New York in my early 20s, going to shows, seeing bands play, hanging out, eating pizza. So when I moved here, and people would be like, why'd you come here? Why'd you come to Albuquerque? You were right by New York City and all this other stuff. And I just kind of realized, wow, it's such a special place. There's so much energy. It's like everything all the time kind of place. So I wrote a couple poems here about New York. Marijuana tongue, New York City. Look for my name on the guest list. George Washington Bridge. Back east, out west, sunrise, sunset. Cab driver only speaks when spoken to. City sidewalk, clearing every pigeon, my 2 feet. If you know me, you know I don't like birds, especially pigeons. They're way too familiar. So I didn't mind chasing them. I looked, good evening, 31 blocks. Headlights drive away. Excuse me. Headlights drive by. Taillights drive away, going somewhere. So the rest of these aren't so New York centric, but they are in the same kind of modern haiku. An itch on my arm, to my surprise, a tiny ant. Hummingbird flies quickly to and from the empty feeder. That's right there too, by the way. There's a hummingbird feeder right there. Probably empty. School of ducks circle the moat, round and round. Sitting by the door, a cool breeze, those coming, those going. The sun's rays deepen down my body to the floor. Snow atop the mountain, leaves at your feet, feelings of change are taking over. Snowfall pounding down, a bald spot where she once parked her car. That kind of goes out to my mom. My mom worked for the post office and she would work the early shift. So she would leave at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And it was always just so sad for me that my mom had to leave. And, you know, back in Jersey, it would just snow so much. And I remember hearing her leave one time and looking out the window and seeing like a bald spot and all this snow. So that was kind of something that always stuck with me. Sad clown outside his makeup, still sad. He's awake, she's asleep, 2 beds. Forgotten notebook at your desk, the last day of school. Going faster, getting higher, roller coaster. Monster in my closet, a home remedy, sleeps with me tonight. Escape the days, a song away, the piano plays. Too busy to notice a butterfly, too macho to write about it, understanding a brick wall. I took an oath to defend the queen. I raised my hand and said I was clean. I would be the raven on her property. Today by the sea, I found nothing to read. Today by the sea. October sparrow flies into my notebook for me to remember. Albuquerque sunset, my camera, no justice. Wild vessel, swaying through the Atlantic, almost home. Small talk and exit wounds. Endings are just slow beginnings. Sparrow on the rim, empty court, stolen nets. So this one, I remember going to a court, I think it was close to where I lived, and there was no one there, and they would never have nets. Someone would either steal them or whatever. And I saw a sparrow just on the rim, thinking to myself, like, wow, no one's here. Another empty court, more stolen nets. A man paces back and forth, waiting for the 5:12 bus. A sparrow dreams of becoming a falcon. The last leaf of autumn has fallen from the tree. Hum a tune, tap your foot, lose your worry. Melted cassette in my car, the sun's opinion. I want to dedicate that to my Toyota Tercel. I had like 250,000 miles on that thing. It only played cassettes. So when I first got out here, I would just have tons of cassettes. And one time I got back to my car and this tape was melted. It was all fucked up. And I just thought, man, I guess the sun didn't care for that tape. So miss that car. Beyond western skies, there is a place I cannot see. Watching people watch NASCAR, the Yankee scratches his head. When I moved out here, I met people who were really into NASCAR. Like, it's not popular back east. And I would be like so fascinated and fans of NASCAR. Like, wow, people are into this. So that's kind of where that came from. Reading your postcard, the mail carrier, dreams of retirement. Another flower in her hair, the garden doesn't mind. Relapse, adapt, being happy means work. Massage a message into my skull. The thoughts are ready to be ready. Dine alone, surrounded by conversation. So when I first got out here, I didn't know anybody. So I would just go out to eat because I wasn't going to miss out. I wasn't going to just stay home. And I would just be so like interested in how like when you're by yourself, your senses are so heightened. And I was just surrounded by conversation. You know, it all kind of has like this one like kind of flow to it. God's moving furniture again. The angels are weeping. My dog is shaking. That's pretty much just about rainy weather, which back east there's a ton of it. Out here, there's not a lot of rainy weather. So when it rains out here, it's kind of welcomed. I saw the star quarterback smoking weed the night before the big game. Talking with his hands, the Italian man complains about the sauce. I'd always hear that people who are Italian, they talk with their hands and this, you know, all this kind of thing. So in my head, I just imagine this old guy complaining about the sauce. So there you go. Blade of grass on my mind, middle of the day. Too many white women in this little white room just this afternoon. That one is that one is about cocaine. In my early 20s, I tried it a couple times. It's terrible. It's really terrible. And when I would buy it, I'd buy it from a coworker. And we couldn't actually say, hey, can I buy some cocaine from you? So we would call it white women. So we would sort of have that sort of joke about it. And I would think to myself, like, too many white women in this little white room just this afternoon. And the times that I've done that bullshit, like you're up all night into the next day. And it's sort of like, I guess, a funny way of talking about it. And it also ties back to, to that coworker and everything. And boy, am I glad to be way beyond those days. But just fascinating what you write and like kind of where it comes from. Widow reads her book, cafe table. This one was more of an image to me, imagining a widow at a cafe just reading her book, getting lost into another world, being okay to be out by herself. Lap dances at the Burn Center. Colder hearts convince no one. Give me distance. What I love about a lot of these poems and just poetry to begin with is it can be about whatever you want. It can be as cryptic, as obvious. It could be a story. But what for me is important is that it speaks to something. It expresses something in a creative way, in a very emotional way sometimes. So some of these are kind of coming from that angle. Getting thin for the wedding. Collect calls from prison. Nobody claim the suitcase. Night owl, asking who, sometimes not. Young lust, white night, skin on skin. Endings with green lights, we're all whoring something. Famous people in famous cars. Flying between fall, the leaves celebrate sparrow's first autumn. Autumn sparrow shits on my head. Lucky October. Lick your wounds, clean the slate, lone wolf. New Mexico moon, my heart, your soul, meeting tonight. All right, I have 2 more and then I'm done. Thanks everyone for showing up, listening. Very, very grateful. This means a lot to me. And during the seasons, the old cypress tree humbles me further. Onion ring in my fries. Life is good. Thank you, everybody.
Let's go. I'll ask everyone to unmute their mics and give a huge round of applause for our feature reader tonight, Zachary Succardi.
Hey, Zach. I got a quick question. I wanted something clarified.
Yes,
In his yeah. So, hi, Zachary.
Hello.
So here's the thing. Did she say in reading your bio that you were originally from New York and then you went to New Jersey and now you're in New Mexico?
No, I'm actually from Jersey, outside of New York City, and now I'm in New Mexico.
Okay. Because I was gonna say you went from new to new to new.
I know, golly, just if you click on the, you have to change your
from Brooklyn to North Carolina to now Albuquerque. We're hoping. Yes, she gonna come out here and find her destiny out here.
I was trying to actually coincidentally real quick, I was checking out flights and my God, I didn't realize you were so far away flight wise. The flights are anywhere from 5 to I believe it was 7 or 8 hours.
It's a lot less than a car, Erica.
I'm like, my God. I didn't want to
I
spend
know.
my whole
When I
PTO
flew
in
to
the air.
Charlotte to go read out in Charlotte, I was Chicago and then back to Charlotte, and then when I came back, I went from Charlotte to Houston to up. So yeah, but because you got to get your ass here in September is all I got to say.
It's my birthday on the 14th. So
I hope Zachary's going to come to the summit. I hope he's going to come and make an appearance. That would be amazing. You and Sarah Doolittle are the 2 Albuquerque poets in this launch. That'd be dope.
okay.
But Brooklyn, are you reading in the second half?
I would yes. I sent you a mic.
Do you need to go first, or are you good with being in the middle?
I would like to go first if there are repeat readers reading again, since I didn't read the first time, if that's okay.
I got you. No worries. All right, okay. But I'm gonna open it up to everyone else. Did you get your question answered, Brooklyn?
Yes, it was clarified. It's just that I noticed the coincidence of his life. I don't know if you ever really thought about it, but I was thinking, I'm like, dog, New York, New Jersey, New Mexico. Everything was new. I'm like, are you going to go to New Guinea next? New Zealand?
And we got Arsene coming. We got Terry Rose Jurtson coming. There's all these poets from New Jersey coming in September, and New York City. Tabitha Adams is coming from the Bronx. Jenna Leeson is coming from Maine. There's a bunch of poets coming to Albuquerque from all up in there. So Zachary has to come so he can meet some more New Jersey people in Mexico while he's here.
Absolutely.
All right. But I will totally invite everyone to here, I'll send it again. I'll re-invite everyone to unmute their mics and give Zachary Succardi a huge round of applause for his feature tonight.
Thank you for sharing your work tonight.
Yes.
Oh, I cannot wait for you. This man does so much with so little. Like I have all these prompts on my paper here to do prompts to send people and to work on, and it's amazing. How I was talking the other day with an author who was talking about crafting their work, and Erica Floyd was this close to being part of this launch. And so, we all have to continue to push each other up. Her book will be coming out later this year with a different press, but I'm so excited, like, for all of us to be, but she's here, right? She's here supporting this press and supporting these authors. And so making sure we're supporting each other in this community is so important. So thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
but to do as much as Zachary does in so little is such a craft. I stay away from talent. I don't like the word talented. I'm almost allergic to it. I don't think it has to do with talent. I think it has to do with mindful crafting of his work through time and experience and penmanship. Um, but you know, he's figured out a way to slap the shit out of you with very little words, and it's exciting to watch
Few
what he
words.
does on these open mics. All right, let's go back to the open mic list. Zach, are you gonna stay and do an encore to close this out tonight?
Sure, yeah.
Sorry, I was squealing. I'm like, let's go. All right, we'll do that. So we'll have Brooklyn. Brooklyn will come. She'll open up the second round. Then we got Doc, Ed Potastic if he's still here, Rick Boucher, and Zach Frater if you're still here as well. Then we'll have Zachary Succardi come in and give us something to close. Grab a drink or whatever you want to toast, and I do a toast for everyone at the end of the shows on Saturday nights. So Brooklyn, D Librarian is coming in. Yo, she's gonna be here as well. From I think she's in South Carolina. She's gonna be here in New Mexico as well. I'm so excited. So maybe she'll grace us with a poem tonight. D Librarian in the house. D, if you want in to the open mic, let me know because we are entering round 2 and then we're gonna wrap up the show. All right. So Brooklyn, you got your poem ready?
Absolutely. It's just the muting and unmuting that's a problem. And hello to everyone. In case I didn't greet you all, I do apologize. My mother raised me better. Let me see here. Where is it at? I just had it. Okay, I'll start off with this one. I never did title it. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. I be the instrument, playing smooth jazz to your rough day. I be massage oil smoothing your kinks away. I be a rose in a fisted glove, soft-spoken verse, unrehearsed, but battle ready for you if worse comes to worse. I be a shoulder to shelter your head as you weep. I be lullaby, melodiously seducing you to sleep. I be Cinderella, sweeping you off of your feet. I be partnered with God, with your soul to keep. I be resilience in my melanin, empowered by Christ within. I be that rock to steady you on your journey, exceeding beyond the ancestors, our kin. I be the goblet you place to your lips, savoring the pull as you take slow sips of the peace I willingly give. I be the chill in your stress for as long as you live. I be love in your life, gladly accepting this task. I be whatever you need without you ever having to ask. And that's the first piece. The second one is The Journey, which I was prompted by Caroline, actually. For those of you who know Caroline, this journey begins as if traveling by rowboat, coasting without oars. Unbeknownst to me, I was called to a destiny without the luxury of free will. In other words, there was no option to request my existence. So here I am, chosen to complete a task that I believe I have yet to fulfill since up until now. I continue to greet the day with breath. It is my belief that I am not finished yet. So I tarry on in hopes that I bless those who encounter me. in hopes that I do everything with sincerity, in hopes that my mere existence can bring change for the better, in hopes that I've learned from past errors, in hopes that I remain humble in all that I achieve, in hopes that I have no regrets before I leave, in hopes that my children know beyond reasonable doubt that I did my very best in loving them, in hopes those that encounter me see God in me, or at least a glimmer of Him, in hopes that the foundation I planted in my seeds were firm, in hopes that I made a positive difference, in hopes that somehow I exude an aura of peace and not chaos, in hopes that I get a well done, thy good and faithful servant, because currently it appears that my mode of transportation has changed to a locomotive train, soon to transition to an airplane, one way, no baggage, leaving the way I came. Poem.
Let's go. Let's go, Erica Floyd. Oh, Brooklyn in the house is her Instagram handle. She's sensational, right? And you haven't even seen her. Like, it's like you just
Thank you. I love you too. You are so sweet.
I just love you back. I'm so excited for your book. I can't wait for it. And I'm yeah, and I got to meet Erica in person. I got to hug her. She's a real human being. In Charlotte when I was in Charlotte this spring. It was wonderful to meet you, and I really do. I'm praying on it a lot that you get your butt here. The blessings come so you can be here in September, and yeah, you can't not be here.
Well, I told you the 14th is my birthday, so I'm looking for cake. There must be cake.
I will give you cake. Oh my god! All right, so the New Mexico Poetry Summit is the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Okay, of September. And so Friday night is the free open mic. Saturday is the full day summit of featured readers, workshops, and lunch. And then we're going to do a team dinner at a local restaurant after that. And that'll be your birthday. So maybe what I'll do is make sure I bring cake. And then Sunday is the VIP champagne show with the women of Tesoro, which of course Erica is a part of this worldwide women's organization of poets and performers and publishers, and it's awesome. And then we have family dinner at my house on Sunday night. And of course, everyone's welcome to come to my home and share in Sunday dinner with me. So you should not go back until Monday.
That's the plan. Actually, that's my plan.
And you would just stay here with me. I have made sure not to take on any extra house people, except if just our misdemeanor, who's coming in from London, if she's coming in, she wants to stay with me. But the two of you can stay with me. It's fine. Not a big deal. I would love that. Otherwise, I've not taken on a whole huge crowded house like I did last year. So you'd be fine. There's lots of room. All right, let's keep going. I'm so excited. So we got Doc, Ed, Rich, and Zach to close us out. We'll just do one piece in the second round to close us. Brooklyn, drop your stuff in the chat, right? Y'all, please follow each other. This is how we connect. This is how we do stuff in the poetry world post-COVID. But that way people can connect with you and your work, and we'll keep going. Doc, are you ready, sir? Let me spotlight.
I am ready.
Hi, there you go.
And you said just one piece. The voice. In a dream that I know, a voice does call my name. And though tempest tossed, in life I play the game. Through times good and bad, I will always have a choice. To find what I need, I listen to my inner voice. From my darkness I do run, through the shadows of the night, to find I am always fleeing from my memories. Though I cry from my pain, I've no tears to set me free. I search within for my voice to try to set me free. I run from shadows of what was. I never will be free. I am lost and alone and seeking ever for my home. In my genes, in my soul, all my pasts are written there in pain. Across eons and ages, I seek my guiding flame. I'm never free, though I want to be, and only live in fantasy. And in my dreams at night, a world where I long to be. And in my dreams at night, a world where I long to be. And in my dreams at night, a world where I long to be. Thank you.
Oh, Doc, I love it. Oh, I love it. And I'm so glad you're back. And I'm so glad you're okay. And I'm so glad your book is out. It's very exciting.
Would that I were okay. I'm not, it's going to be months yet, if ever.
Well, a stroke is a big deal, right? You never fully get back from something like that, but you're back in the most in a huge way.
Wow.
I feel almost like you haven't left at all, and that's very comforting for me. Like
it's as though I'm living in two different worlds at the same time.
That's a wonderful way to look at it. Yeah, that's your next book. Go write that book. You know, for many of us, especially if you're not a poet or you weren't with us through the pandemic, many of us have been together the last 4 or 5 years trying to push through COVID. And we didn't have any other choice but to be online. And so many of us were every day with each other for years and years. And Doc has been a mainstay here at The Word Is Right. Rich as well, Dee, Erica, so many poets have just been here, and you get to know these human beings, and then you get to meet them, and it's like wonderful. So when the world opened back up, we all got to meet each other. It was it's a lovely existence, and so I'm so glad you're good, Doc. I'm glad you're back, and I can't wait for the next thing you do. It's very exciting. All right, Ed Poetastic, making everyone feel fantastic. Please,
I love it.
there you are. All right, let me spotlight you, and you take it away. So after Ed, I got Rich, and then Zach, and then Zachary will close us out. Let me spotlight you. There you go, Poetastic.
Thank you for making me feel fantastic. Thank you for being bombastic. And thank you for being so enthusiastic. Thank you for being real instead of plastic. And Zachary, thank you so much for humbling with your presence. Thank you for spreading your worldly luminescence. All right. This is called Drown into the Smudge. Drown to the smudge. We were created by Earth, the dirt of rebirth, where her seeds rebreed, she bleeds. Strength in her mud, soaking the floods, where flowers in her image, roots without any limits. We don't show you love. Your voices are the winds above. We feel your earthquakes while you painfully ache. We see your thunderstorms, your frantic cries as a newborn. We touch your hurricanes, the wails of growing pains. We drink your tsunamis, the water cleans your body. We hear you, our mother. We feel your thunder. Yes, we understand and do. Sorry to be a burden to you. And mother's work is never done. Thank you for being our son. Forgive your uprooted trees. We are pieces of your humanity. Thank you.
Let's go, Poetastic. Yes, making everyone feel fantastic. Freaking love Ed. Eddie, we love you. Let's keep going. All right, Rich Boucher. Rich is back. Where did he? Well, maybe. Where did he go?
I'm right here. Let me get on camera.
Let me spotlight you, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thanks again to the feature for sharing their work. This poem was recently published in the Fixed and Free Poetry Anthology, based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's a publication that publishes poets from around the world, centrally in New Mexico. This poem is called Without Our Customers, We Are Nothing. The little toddler baby was having a horrible, brutal first day of work. as a cashier at the supermarket. At only 1.5 years old, she was having a tough time making her little fingers work on the buttons and screen, and she really didn't know how to read or count yet. But she needed the job. She needed the job because in this economy, her parents were barely making ends meet, and so she needed this job. She needed it. The customer in front of her was practically screaming himself hoarse at her because figuring out which of the pictures on the screen meant a pack of Marlboros was too much for her little brain to handle. And it took her forever to get this guy his cigarettes from the cabinet at customer service and then toddle back over to the high chair behind her register. "You got the wrong ones, you idiot," screamed the customer, his rubbery, dark arson fire of a face ominous. Imaginary black smoke billowed in a tower above his head like a burnt-out thought cloud. "Don't you know how to goddamned read?" The baby, whose name was Sarah, started to blubber and cry softly and piteously because she really needed this job, and she was frightened of this hollering man who had no patience, and because she was only 1.5 years old. Margaret, the store manager, appeared out of nowhere, profusely apologizing for Sarah with her large, fat mouth to the customer. The customer, still hollering, suddenly orgasmed with pleasure and a long groan and a shudder also at being so quickly placated and apologized to by someone who was of the manager race. Margaret then turned to Sarah and fired her on the spot and told her to get out of the store. Sarah, still in tears, toddled out of the store, beyond despondent in her little pink jumper, and staggered out into the hot, sweltering, angry, and hostile 4th of July midday traffic, wailing and crying so hard that she couldn't even see where she was going. And all of the cars swerving fast out of her listless way haunted her meanly because they had important white picnics to go to. The sun set roughly later on. She really should have been a better employee. Thank you for listening.
Oh my God, Rich Boucher, let's go. You gave me my the title for this poem I've been dying to write about some of the stuff that's happening at Gaza, and I wrote it down while you were reading. So thank you. This is how friends helping friends. It says, "No need to worry about the afterbirth." And it's about the woman whose child was cut out of her body after a bombing. And it was yeah, so I don't whenever I listen to you, I'm fully inspired.
Thank you. That I don't really know much, and I certainly with intent, I don't really follow what's going on in the Middle East because for me personally, I have it just seems it's out of my sphere of interest.
Not something
But I get it.
Comment on.
Yeah. But thank you. I really appreciate what you just said. That was really good of you to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, but thank you for always being unapologetically authentic and thought provoking. I appreciate you, and hope you do reconsider those live performances because we really need you.
Well, yours will be the last one. September will be the last one. That's going to be the final one.
Yeah, he will be here performing live in New Mexico. So I'm so excited. At least there's that, and then we have online. So hey, and then we'll go there. All right, Zach Frater, are you Did you want to do a round two? Ah, there we go. All right, so we'll do Zach and then Zach. Zach squared. And so let me spotlight you real quick.
Check.
Hold,
I would love to. I have another one. All right. But the two let me keep getting text messages from an ex-girlfriend, but I won't let it affect this performance. Okay, ready? I have one. Hey, beginning of my life, acres, tractors, trucks, apple bin and sprinkler at dusk, pear slices cut by a farmhand pocket knife, middle of day, tailgate, latch flipped, weight of it makes rattled thud, lunch whistle, signify a day half done, ran and hopped up. It's lunchtime in the back of the work truck, baseball hat sweaty, tip it up, wipe face with shirt, dad sits down, truck sinks and squeaks a sigh let out. Think to myself, one day I'll be big and strong. Dad, like he's been swimming. Shirt clings to body, a white shirt now brown. I don't recall exactly, but it had purple writing, faded and stretched. Probably some free shirt, charity event. And a day stripped off, straight in the washing machine. No need to report hours. That shirt is proof that man has worked all morning. Probably won't stop till night. Unpacks, couple sandwiches, plastic baggie, store-bought cookies, Chips Ahoy. Old Coors cooler, faded even then, packed by mom a guest because if dad made it, be soggy bread. Excess mayo, slices of ham, pre-cut and wrapped slices of Kraft cheese, or maybe his favorite. Bologna and butter spread thick, a thick quilt on bed laying on top of a thin mattress. Dad wouldn't have bothered with bag. Probably would throw Chips Ahoy directly in truck. Well, I was trying to be like him. Work till tired, man of word, say kind things and help those in need. Mimic the way, adjust his hat. It's always tilted slightly left. Orange canteen carried on his back. Now it's leaned up, it's sitting in his lap. Wish I could talk to him how we talked back then. Need advice from that man, not the one carrying years of guilt on an already sore back. The one that I looked up to. Lift the house if he wanted to. Wouldn't quit until he had to. Still wake up next day and yell, rise and shine. It's about time you get out of bed. More work to do. Up and at him. I would tell him, Dad, modern office. It's not made for men like you. Give me a break. Everything I learned came from long talks after long days of work. Always disappointed. I couldn't keep up. Still could sing every Beach Boys song, only cassette in that old truck. Trust me, Dad. I do what you said. Difference is, it's all HR, and I don't think you'd call any of these guys men. You raised a cowboy. Don't take it back. It's just that society changed. It's not spit and hand and shake. It's lawsuits and HR claims. It's whispers behind closed doors. No one does contracts on the back of napkins anymore. You wouldn't believe it. My boss didn't even pay for lunch. I'm walking around like, dang, not in the orchard anymore. Click old boots twice. Take me home. Drive that John Deere tractor sitting on your lap. Sunset and still irrigation lines to move. Believe me, I'll work hard. Anything better than boring meetings and chugging beer in a bathroom stall.
Damn, let's go. Yes, welcome, Zach. Welcome to The Word is Right. Welcome to our platform, and I'm so glad that you're here. So thank you. Keep writing, keep going. Let's go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to have Zachary Succardi close us with an encore piece, and then I'm going to do a toast. So make sure you have a glass of something, whatever you're drinking, so that I can bless the room as we all leave tonight. That would be lovely. Zachary, let me go ahead and spotlight you, and you're welcome to do whatever you wish. You are still muted, though. Yes, there we go.
Thanks, everyone, for reading. It's really cool to hear everyone's style and poetry. So thank you again. This is called Night Gallery. Supermoon is caught up in the tree again. Violate the terms and conditions and smear passion all over me. A song I didn't choose, but plays like I did. A love I couldn't lose, but feels like a win. The conclusion was always going to be, love yourself. Thank you, everybody.
Ooh, I wrote that down. Smear passion all over I'm going to productize the hell out of that. Let's go. All right, let's go. I'm going to invite everyone to unmute their mics one more time and give it up for our wonderful feature reader tonight, the one and only Zachary Succardi.
Hey, thank you,
Thanks, everybody.
Zachary, for
Thanks, Zachary.
sharing your work tonight. I really appreciate it. By the way, you had made a mention of NASCAR, and I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but I put a link into a story about this douchebag who decided to quit being a participant and a competitor in NASCAR due to NASCAR's decision to ban the Confederate flag. And he was upset that people whose parents are also brother and sister don't get the chance anymore to hoist their Southern flag. And I made my icon. You can see the avatar there in where my image is. In Gran Turismo 7, I designed the opposite of the General Lee, the victorious General Grant, as you can see there. Same make and model as the 1969 Dodge Charger, but instead of the pro-slavery flag in the top, it's got the American flag, and it says General Grant on the sides. And instead of 01, it says 10, with sort of basically an opposite coloring scheme from the General Lee. I thought you might find that amusing.
Yeah, I like that. I like how you change all the colors and kind of speaking truth. Thank you for sharing. That's really cool.
When I was a kid, I'd seen somebody I grew up in New England, so not far from where you hail from. And one day my parents were taking us kids to see some relatives in Rhode Island, and we had this country road, a half-hour drive. And one day we heard the roar of the Hemi engine coming towards us. Somebody was driving a stock car on the opposite, in the other lane towards us. And it happened to be a fully restored 1969 Dodge Charger. And somebody had it decked out with navy blue paint job, white mags, same rims as the General Lee. And it had the General Grant design. And he hit the horn as he passed us. And instead of Dixie, it was the opening bars to the Star Spangled Banner. So it was kind of like a very cool thing to see in real life.
What's interesting is when I performed at the New York City Poetry Festival, the Star Spangled Banner was going off in the background as I was reading my Jalen Walker poem. And for those who don't know, Jalen Walker was gunned down by law enforcement. And it is so that, we welcome free speech, but we don't welcome hate speech. And of course, that is a symbol, in our opinion, of hate and suppression and slavery. It's not something that is endorsed here. So, we definitely want to try to maintain people's rights to free speech without that being hate speech. And so it's important that everyone feel like they have a place here without feeling like they are targeted. So then, there's a lot of things happening in NASCAR as part of the conversation, right? A lot of things evolving in sports in general. Dealing with that. So that is a different day for a different show and a different thing. And we're winding down tonight. But I thank you, Rich, for taking the time to explain that, because, Rich and Zach, they both live in the same city and we should totally be coming to the same events. Don't forget, I have my backyard open mic. The last one is in August. Y'all should come to it. It's whatever the teen is, August 17th. Rich, you should come. Zachary, you should come and do the open mic in my backyard in August. It's the last backyard poetry series for the summer. It'll be lovely. And then, if you want to come hang out for my birthday, I'm barbecuing a lot of stuff next Saturday. So come hang out at my house. There's no poetry, but there'll be barbecue and drinks and fun. So you're always welcome to come hang out here when I have stuff going on that's not poetry related as well. All right. All right, let's go. Grab a glass. I'm going to toast the room. I want to bless everyone and thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Zachary Succardi, for coming and sharing your work. Please order his book. If you do anything, just order his book. In fact, order 2 copies, one to give away because it's so wonderful. All right, here's to health in your company and one for the lasses. Let's drink and be merry, all of our glasses. Let's drink and be merry, bad thoughts to refrain, for we may or may not ever all be here again. This has been the Saturday night open mic at The Word is Right, hosted by me, Marissa Prada. Thank you all so much for coming through. We'll see you next Saturday with Terry Rose Jerson for karaoke night. Rich Bouchard, thank you so much. Zachary Succardi, thank you everyone who read tonight. I'll see you next time at the Saturday night open mic. Bye.
Bye.
Maybe if I could find my mouse. There's my mouse. Okay, bye.